What's up, guys? It's your boy Brad coming back at you with another bike check. I know it's been a bit of time since my last one, but I had some things going on, and I also wanted to make sure this next bike check was really nice. And first thing I want to do is let you know that I will make a few corrections from my last bike video. I know that the Pathfinder has a 9.666 standover, the newer version, the lavender version, and thank you guys for correcting that. I was looking up the United Zuin frames Geo, and that has a 9.3 standover, which I think might be my next build for you guys. However, that was somewhat the issue. I apologize. I like to have all of my information perfect. So speaking of that, let's get on to this awesome Simo build that I have been working on for a while. I'm going to just get started with the parts that I got first, really. So the grips I got, I'm going to say about 4 years ago in New Jersey at Extremes Bike Shop. So shout out Extremes Bike Shop. I threw the grips on. I had them. They were the Gypsy grips by Simo. So with the build, why not have some shadow bar ends? These are the deadbolt bar ends. I think I lost one of the deadbolts and had to make my own, but I like a solid bar end like that. Looks pretty cool. The bars came next. I got those about 2.5 years ago, and I just really loved these bars. Oh, I'm sorry. When I got the grips, I got the seat as well. It was the last one in stock. They don't have these, and so I was pumped to grab that. And then I got the bars. These are the 9.3 rise. They're a pretty comfortable bar, 3 degrees back sweep, and 29 degree something up sweep. But if you ever see Simo ride, you'll see he doesn't really go very high. He stays low to the ground, and he does extremely technical tricks. So the bars are really important, especially to have that little bit of a back sweep, extra back sweep. And it also has a taller crossbar, which I think, just kind of helps with control a little bit. These are uncut, no need to cut them. And moving down, because this is somewhat of a low frame, I went with the Rant Trill stem. Rant is another company underneath Subrosa, Shadow, and then like Rant. And they're all sold out of Sparky's distribution. It's a really cool stem, and I love the look of a red stem. It has a very nice solid, it's not CNC'd, but it has a CNC finish, so it is cold forged, and has this cool little engraving on the side. A really nice rise. I think it's like a 33mm rise, and that allowed me to keep the spacers minimal here because the head tube it's a shorter head tube. It's not like the longer ones that the Pathfinder has and a lot of newer frames. This is just a basic, I think, 4.5 or 4-inch head tube. 4.5, I think it is. With basic 75 degrees. And I have a shadow head set on there. Scoured around. My buddy Tyler hooked me up with that thing. So, gonna give Tyler a shout out where Tyler's due because I know about 1,000 Tylers. So I'm gonna say Tyler W on this one, so you know who you are. But yeah, finally got to rock that headset cap, which also lets everything flow very nicely into the Simo forks in chrome. These are a 27mm offset fork in chrome. They're not as expensive. I think that's because they're welded as opposed to the invest cast craze that is going on. So if you're looking for some, nice chrome parts, which are getting slim these days, you might be able to find a pair of these. Moving on, I'll hop back over to the seat, matching the bars with all the graphics, which is one of my main reasons I like this bike so much. The graphics is the Shadow Pivotal. It's just a Kevlar seat. I think it's kind of like, looks like a spray paint, but they throw so many colors on here. It's like really nice to match it up. Moving down to a Shadow Pivotal seat post. This is one of those long seat posts, so it's like down to here, but if I ever want to jack this boy up, I can. I like having that option. Longer seat posts. I believe you'll be seeing a lot more of those, just like we are seeing a lot more of front load stems. So that wave, trend, whatever you want to call it's about to hit soon. All right, moving on. We're going to use the drivetrain. Now, I do not have a Shadow or Subrosa or Rant sprocket. The sprocket is from Brody, the offspring of Tyler, and once I cleaned it up, it had this cool red splatter look to it. It matched perfect. I had a Shadow Crow sprocket. It did not look as nice as this one, and I don't want, like, it's already a little heavy, so if I went with the Barcelona guard sprocket, I kind of wanted to be a little different, so I have that. And another Tyler hookup is this Supreme chain. So really, what do you need the guard for if you have the Supreme chain? This thing's supposed to be like motorcycle grade chain. It's supposed to protect everything. And if I gotta get a new one, I think the sprocket's like $30, so I think we're good. Pedals. Oh, bottom bracket, 22 millimeter bottom bracket with, of course, the old steady Animal Kimbos in 165. I'm currently looking for the Subrosa Rose cranks in 160. I'll do 165, but I think I'd like the Rose ones because they have nice design to them. I think it'll go well with this bike. And all the graphics aesthetically. Sometimes you can have too much writing and it just doesn't look good. For example, like the Odyssey Caliber crank, just has all that writing on it, and it just kind of like, you gotta find a happy medium, but I do like the look of the Rose cranks too. I'm not sure if Subrosa makes the strongest cranks, but they look good. These will last forever. So, when in doubt, go Animal. Hooked to the Animal Akimbo cranks are Odyssey JCPC pedals. However, I just saw an ad on Instagram for Subrosa's or Shadow's new pedal, which is going to be, I think, the Rose pedal, and one side is for grinding, like this, and one side will be for grip. Now, I've explained these pedals to you before. I've moved them from bike to bike, but the reason they're on this one now is because I'm going to be riding this one. This is a 20.8 inch top tube, much more my size. 21 is a little large for me, especially with the taller standover. So we have a 20.8 inch here, 75-degree head tube angle, 71-degree seat tube angle. That's your basic, geometry that goes back to when Simo had his Noster frame. This has exactly the same geometry. We have a 9-inch standover, and we have a 13 point, I'm not going to screw this one up. This is a 13.5 chainstay in the middle, actually, and this is ran a little bit further back. I think it's 13.35, so it is still a long chainstay, but I think that's also because of Simo's tech tricks. And look at the distance I have. Like, if I'm doing peg shakes of some sort, I have a good distance between my pedal and the peg, and that with having that distance allows for a little more room for tricks. It also helps with transitions. When you're going down, you do not loop out as much. And Ethan Corriere, who is the sleeper, he recommends that the longer back end, not recommends, but he says the longer back end helps him with stability with manuals, backwards manuals, a bunch of tricks I can't do. So that's for those of you that can. Of course, on here we have our little bottom bracket buddy, little metal Mickey bottom bracket buddy. Love those things, man. So I do really want to, I know as pretty as this thing is, I do want to play with it, and I do want to grind it out. So I'm going to be selling a bunch of other stuff. Pegs. I had the plastic pegs on because I was planning on riding it, and with the plastic it's a little easier on the wrist landing. It's like running on a treadmill versus concrete. But Simo runs the little ones. I had 4 little ones. These are the 4-inch here. I have 4-inch on the drive side, and then I have a 4.4-inch on the non-drive side. So I just wanted them small. I don't do a whole lot with the pegs. I just for jibbing around. Jibbing, I believe that's how it's said. So yeah, go on to the wheels. We have a set of G Sport left-hand drive late rib cage, rib cage rims, my bad. These are the rib cage rims. They're laced to the G-Sport hubs, left-hand drive. Both hubs are female. The rear is a 14mm female. So that's how we do it here. That's one of our mid-level loud cassettes. So imagine the loud ones. All right, now this is the front hub is the rollaway hub. The rear hub is left-hand drive cassette rollaway. We have 4 plastic hub guards that came with it. And anything else you guys know, we have the Animal ASM tires. They are a 20 by 2.25, which is a little more narrow. And I noticed Sparky's is not one of my distributions. I don't have Subrosa as a distributor. So these parts were all sourced myself, and Subrosa has some expensive tires, so I ended up going with the Animal tires because I know they're good and they'll last, and they look good. And the fact that they're narrow allows for a little extra room with grinding and some of those tricks. I've noticed Simo has a narrower tire, and a lot of the guys that ride for Animal and are like crazy grinders have a narrower tire to allow for, you know, less rubbing on the sidewalls, probably flats. And let's see, finally, oh, let me tell you here, these are hundreds, I said that. Here I explained the pedals. Finally, someone has asked me about the tubes. These are the Eclat amp tubes. They come in like a box that looks like an amplifier, and they have a cool Presta valve. It's a Schrader valve, but it looks kind of like a big Presta valve, and some are gold, some are silver, and they also have this lock nut like on it that you can screw on top of it, and I think that just adds to, like, you know, me, I like all those little aspects about a bike. This will probably, you know, maybe change up a little bit, but not too much, aside from adding the rose cranks and a few other, and that's about it. I think the rose cranks and the rose pedals. Other than that, a few things to know. The Subrosa Simo forks do have a lifetime guarantee, and I know a lot of you guys do not know this or believe this, but if you fork has notches on it to cut, and you cut that fork at the notch, and then you end up breaking that fork, you do not void the warranty because you cut the steer tube. Doesn't work that way. They're not going to give you areas to cut and then say you can't do it. So just a heads up on that. May decrease the resale value if you're selling it to someone, but if you plan on riding the forks and the only reason you're not cutting them is because you're afraid they might break, which they probably will never do, you're afraid they may break or they won't cover the warranty, but they will. It will still cover the warranty. Other than that, that's the build. So like I said, guys, sorry it took me a little while to come back with this one. I'm going to have a few new videos. Like I said, I got the United Zuine frame coming. I have Demolition Products now as a distributor, so I have some sweet Demolition products coming. And if you guys are wondering like how to get a hold of me, or if you want to see the products I have, maybe buy some of the products, this is where you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Just pause it. My name is Brad Washburn, and you can request a website link. I have a website which has all my parts on it. Shipping isn't working at the moment, but you can always message me, and I do any type of mobile payment aside from cash. So, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me give you a little view. I hope I didn't talk too slow. And we start with the deadbolt bar ends. Deadbolt Slims are the newer ones. Gypsy grips in hot pink. Simo bars. Nice little embossment there. 9.3 inch rise. This is the Rant Trill stem in red with CNC finish, attached to the Shadow Crow headset. Moving down to the Simo forks. We have some more beautiful craftsmanship there. I love the detail on this frame. Over here, we're sticking mainly to the shadow parts, but is a pretty sick sprocket. And I have a feeling that chain's been around a while. And here is the seat. And I'll get you guys a weight for this in the description. So, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm out. Peace.